looking at some of the hits that you mentioned in your column, uh, let's where do I want to start? Jon Moxley, I had not been a fan of for his a lot of his AEW run.
Yeah.
I like what I'm seeing here with this turn with him and Claudio Castagnoli against Daniel Brian Danielson. And man, you talk about rehabilitating someone's career. Marina Shafir is man, she is. I don't know what they've done to her except for just. I mean, she was off TV for a while and now she's back and she's a badass. It's just they've transformed her and that click is believable.
I know Jon Moxley's talked a lot behind the scenes about mentoring Marina Shafir and trying to translate some of that MMA into wrestling and how you can make it look more legitimate, that how that fusion can blend a little bit better. And I think it's worked. I mean, she looks great. She looks tough as hell. She's choking out guys, security guards. Um, and I've been going back and trying just for fun, been going back and watching more Terry Funk, old Terry Funk, because by the time I was watching wrestling, he was on like his seventh comeback and doing pretty off the wall stuff. But Jon Moxley's bringing that kind of, you don't know what he might do, you don't know how violent he will be, and taking a hammer and breaking Isaiah Cassidy's hand quite convincingly, might I add. It looked pretty good. Um, how far are we going to stretch the limits of television here? Pay-per-view is a paper bag on Danielson's face. I Darby Allin versus Moxley next week. I am very excited to see how far these guys take this because they're two crazy guys.
I like too. Private Party. I was commenting this during the show this week. The promo they did. They came out cross with a harder edge. They've been for 5 years. They got a very early big win over the Young Bucks. You think,
Yep.
hey man, they're gonna put the Bucks are putting them over. They're gonna push these guys, and then nothing follow up, which is too often the case with those kind of things with AEW, unfortunately. But they were presented as these party guys and all this kind of stuff. I liked hearing that New York swagger out of those guys. It made me even think, there's this talk about the Hurt Business, whatever that I think Hurt Syndicate, maybe they're going to be called. Um, MVP, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin eventually coming in, and what a debut that would be if they were to come in next week in New York. But whenever the case may be, I would like to see these hard-edged private party guys who now sound like they are New York badass guys. At least they, for one promo anyway, they could be the tag team in a Hurt Syndicate, and almost like a sort of African American Four Horsemen kind of group. You'd have Lashley as your champion level guy, Shelton Benjamin as your shooter.
Yeah.
Um, MVP is the mouthpiece, the JJ Dillon, and then your tag team private party. Um, but I'm dream booking there. To go back to private party, loved what I saw. The glimpse we got to see there of a team that could be taken seriously again.
I love the comment Moxley made about 5 years ago. You guys seem like you're the tag team of the future, and nothing's happened. I think sometimes it's good to just be direct and sort of, as we would say, meta about things. Because, like you said, these guys got that huge win over the Young Bucks, and then they have just. I know Marq Quen was injured for a long time, but these guys have just been stagnant. And Jon Moxley called it a crucible, I think, for him to overcome. I think these guys can come back with a harder edge. This gives them an opportunity to take that promo and really come back and rebrand themselves. And I totally agree with you. I think MVP, Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and those two could make a fantastic faction for AEW.
I even see. I was peeking ahead to the Friday night Rampage lineup, and Leo Rush being on that in a four-way match. I'm a big Leo Rush fan. I don't think he's being used well at all in AEW. He's because he's two things. He's a really fun performer to watch in the ring. He's a small guy, he's like five,
Yeah.
660 pounds, but he's really good in the ring. He's even better on the mic, and they're not giving him the mic at all.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, maybe another addition to a heel faction there, because he was with Lashley, of course, in WWE as his
Yeah.
mouthpiece. That I could see that coming as well. And being of value to AEW.